Iconic, The Economy of Certainty, An Introduction to the Typology of Islamic Legal Theory by Aron Zysow, Cambridge, Massachusetts, 1984, Harvard University. Page 49. Section 4. Discontinuity, the Mursal tradition. There is nothing remarkable about the Hanafis' acceptance of the unit tradition as a legal source, the unit tradition commonly known as the Ahad Hadith. This they share with the majority of legal schools. What is remarkable is the consistency with which they, the Samarqandi school included, refuse to compromise their ancient position that the authenticity of these traditions, being only presumptive, was subject to rebuttal. The content of an ostensibly sound tradition must measure up to certain standards before it can constitute a legal norm, because the authenticity of a hadith is equivalent to its connectedness, ittisal, to the Prophet. The Hanafis speak of a hadith whose contents fail to meet these standards as discontinuous, munqati'. Apology, no Arabic terms given, just quite old transliteration. Discontinuity of this sort is termed inner or material, batin, ma'nan, as distinct from external or formal. Discontinuity, inqita', zahir, surratan. Apologies, no Arabic. Material inconsistency or discontinuity has reference to both the matan and the isnad, matan being the source text and isnad being the chain of narration. Have a look at my common link theory to explain exactly what isnad is and the Western appreciation or lack of appreciation of it. Both the content of the tradition and its reporters must be acceptable. Formal discontinuity is found when there is a gap in the isnad. Material discontinuity is revealed when the reporters do not meet the relevant standards of character and attentiveness, or when the matan is measured by canons considered of a greater certainty, canons meaning usul, than the authenticity of the unit tradition, and is found to fall short. Only formal discontinuity is discontinuity in the literal sense. The only case of normal discontinuity or formal discontinuity discussed by the usulis is that of detached mursal tradition. This detachment consists in someone quoting the Prophet without his actually having heard the Prophet make the particular statement. It is the case of the reporter who omits the transmitter or transmitters who link him to the Prophet. Even a companion can report a mursal tradition. For example, one he has heard from another companion. But here the detachment must be known from an external source, since the companion is presumed to report his own hearing. Among the Hanafis, there was no formal position on the validity of the mursal tradition. The view that would accept them all without discrimination is associated with Abu al-Hasan al-Karhi. It is to be contrasted with the position of those who distinguished among the reports of the mursal according either to their chronology or their outstanding moral qualities. Among these is Isa ibn Aban, who accepted the marasil being plural of mursal, of the first three generations of Islam, whose outstanding qualities had been testified to by the Prophet, and thereafter accepted only the marasil of outstanding religious scholars, a'immat ad-din. Al-Jassas follows Isa in the main, but reserves the right to reject the marasil of the second and third generations if the reporter is known to have been lax in his choice of informants. The issue underlying the entire discussion of the mursal is to what extent the immediate reporter, the one who detaches the hadith, al-mursil, ensures the probity of the reporter he omits by the very fact of reporting from him. For the reporters of a tradition must possess certain qualities for the tradition to be valid, and these qualities are vouched for by those who know and themselves possess these qualities. Ahl al-ta'dil. This is from the science of al-jarh wa ta'dil. Jarh meaning literally injuring or criticizing, and ta'dil considering someone upright. The chain stops with the companions whose qualities are ensured by the Quran and the Sunnah. The position of Qarhi is thus the simplest. any person of probity in reporting a mursal tradition thereby vouches for those who he omits. It also seems to have been the most popular among the Hanafis. The position attributed to Karhi is taken as that of the Hanafis in a number of Shafi'i works. Moreover, it is for al-Samarqandi, the teaching of our scholars, ulama'una. Al-Karhi is not mentioned. Isa ibn Abban's position, on the other hand, is mentioned only briefly, and there is no distinction given that it has any wide following. Samarqandi's exposition of the problem, which is quite extended, is meant to answer the arguments of those who supported Shafi'i. Shafi'i's position, according to Samarqandi, was apart from the marasil of the companions, other marasil were to be rejected, unless their continuity could be shown externally. For this reason, the Shafi'is accepted the marasil of Sa'id ibn Musayyib. I followed them, as Shafi'i is supposed to have said, and found them to be continuous, musnad. In fact, Shafi'i's view on the mursal was much discussed among his followers. We shall have more to say about this presently, but for now shall confine ourselves to summarizing Samarqandi's discussion, which brings out with admirable clarity some of the key issues at stake in the controversy over the mursal. Stay tuned for many more parts.